What's up, PPs? All right. I don't know why I started off the video like that, but hey, we're here. We're back. It has been a minute, man. I'm feeling pretty dang good. It's been 9 days. Well, I'll be honest with you guys. I've been back home for like a couple days. And so I did go to the gym yesterday. Got a leg day in. So I'd be lying to you if I said this is the first day back to the gym, because that was yesterday. But first push day back to the gym, because it is a Monday. We're back to the flow of things. My digestion's still a bit off. I got plenty of water in yesterday, I think, but I could have done more. I definitely got at least a gallon in. But that being said, I still think I need a few more days of really pushing that water above and beyond to flush me out, because I can definitely feel it still kind of sitting everything in there. But I know how this goes. You guys know how this goes if you've been watching long enough. That give it 2 days and I'm gonna, especially with my calorie deficit all set and ready to go. I went a little bit too high yesterday. I got about 2,900 calories, probably around 250 grams of protein yesterday. So we're still kind of floating back into it, but it's going to be pretty strict with the 2,300 to 2,500 today. And just getting back on track with everything, man. It'll probably be a solid like 2 to 3 weeks, probably 3 weeks before our next refeed, if I can make it that long. 2 to 3. 2 is really where I know I can do 2 weeks for sure. But that's when things start getting really weird, Oh man, I forgot to take my BPC 157. Still trying to get in routine back with the supplements. I'll say this: obviously we did a few vacation vlogs, right? I didn't get the last one in because, well, here's the main reason. I miscalculated how many days. It was like a few months ago that I had booked, the trip and everything like that. And I kind of forgot what days we were coming back. And so we were actually coming back a day earlier. So we actually got back Saturday. I thought we were coming back Sunday. So it was a little bit of shorter trip. But that being said too, we got those workouts in. I did drink protein shakes while I was on vacation, which is not something I typically do. Because again, I typically just don't take vacations that long. But that being said, lots of lessons learned through this. I want to take more like at least week-long vacations. 9 days was a little bit too much. You start getting homesick and stuff like that, unless I'm going out of the country or something. But that being said, man, the lesson I really learned was like, I got to be a little bit more structured. I went into that like kind of having a plan, but it should have been a little bit more structured. The plan really was to like start kind of working a little bit and kind of getting into a groove of stuff on Monday when I was there. But it just wasn't like what I had like kind of expected. I didn't respect how much the diet affects just like energy levels in general, or even how the diet affects stuff like cognition. You know what I mean? So being able to think even just like clearly and stuff. So I guess this dude's switching lanes. Dang, man. It's a short green light. I gotta make sure I gotta give people time. But anyways, the main lesson I learned is I gotta be, even if I'm like on vacation from work, I still gotta be on my diet for the most part. I think tracking my calories and making sure water intake had a bare minimum, making sure those things were still getting hit, was something that I should have done, because they definitely played a factor into everything else. Obviously you guys saw some of those vlogs. My digestion was just awful. I'm not kidding. On that last vlog, there's a part in it where I say, oh man, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. I really felt that way. Like I was just eating, the thing I was telling myself in my head is like, I know this feels like you feel like shit, but that's just you wanting to be strict again. Like I was telling myself, you're here to be on vacation. But that was a part that actually took away enjoyment from the vacation, if that makes sense. Because then I'm just sitting there thinking like, oh my gosh, this is literally, one, doesn't feel very good, but two, you know, I just need to, the whole part of the diet, the reason you're doing a diet isn't just to be, you know, burning fat or building muscle. It's also to feel good, you know. So that's and feel like you can actually get stuff done, because there's a lot of stuff I wanted to do that I just didn't do because I didn't feel like doing it. I spent so much time just laying, like sitting down and laying, or like watching TV. And that's literally what we mostly did, man. Which again, the first 3 days that would have been fine. It was the fact that it went on for a little bit more. You know, I did the vlogs and stuff. I say that. I did a lot of work. I was sitting, you know, but it was work that I wanted to do. I finished my book. Like the final draft's done and everything like that's done. I actually just posted a short yesterday. It'll be yesterday for you guys. It's actually, I just posted it this morning. But that being said, it gives you guys the equation, the Chigel equation I've been talking about. And we'll dissect that more and more as we go along. Obviously that book will be out very, very soon, within the next week or two. So that's basically a lot of the work I did. I played a little bit of video games here and there. I think we're actually going to start streaming. Well, again, I'm going to be doing it tonight anyways, but I think we're going to start streaming Terraria, because I really got into that during the vacation. And I can see myself streaming that for a long time, you know, and finding a long running series like that where I can just kind of unwind with you guys a couple nights a week. I think that'll be really cool to kind of connect with you guys a little bit. But that being said, there's so much to cover, and obviously we are already here. Another thing is, you know, this phase of the training is a lot more based on getting better at jiu-jitsu. You know, we have kind of hinted at that the past like couple months of vlogs, and so it's time to actually start getting that in motion. So this week I'm actually going to be starting jiu-jitsu training. There's a place I like to go to called Cerberus. I need to hit my people up there, let them know I'm going to be coming in. Because again, I've trained there periodically throughout the years. It's just, you know, I've been building this business, you know, so this is it's one of those things I'll kind of go intermittently when it comes to training. I have training phases kind of, so this one's going to be a big one. The plan, at least for the next 3 months, maybe longer, is to go just once a week right now. Because as far as like my schedule is going right now, guys, because obviously I'm still trying to like grow my business. I'm trying to grow this YouTube channel. I'm trying to grow all my social media. You know, I'm not rushing the process with this. I'm getting used to the training rather, and just getting more familiar with it and getting comfortable with it. And that just takes repetitions, you know? So, I'm going to be going once a week, probably on Thursdays. And that'll be just my second workout of the day. On the other days of the week, I'll be doing hot works like I've been doing. But the thing is, you know, typically I go to hot works in the middle of the day, or I do my second workout in the middle of the day. And now, you know, things are a little bit different. I have to kind of do my second workout later in the evening, you know, so it'll be more, because jiu-jitsu, for example, the jiu-jitsu class doesn't start till 7 p.m. So like I'm going to get used to like doing my second workout at 7 p.m. So that way I can get consistent with showing up and still getting in that kind of like training, which is going to be awful, you know, because I'm still going to be getting in these workouts in the morning time. So it's going to be a lot, you know, so I'm going to have to really, I'm not going in there to try and necessarily like go hard. I'm going in there to get my reps in, you know what I mean? And that'll be kind of what the next 3 months is about. So that being said, I've got to start working on conditioning. You can't do this stuff without conditioning. So now at the end of the lifting workouts we're doing here, I have to do some conditioning training. I already have it all like scheduled out and ready to go. So it's gonna be rough. So you guys will see some of that today. I don't remember what we've got today. I believe it's sprints. Oh man. Well, I wore flip-flops today. Damn, I didn't think about that when I wore flip-flops. Either way, if it ends up being sprints, I can just flip-flop it out for a different day. Because I literally have got one set for every day of the week. So you guys will see. I'll check that out. But we got to get in here because I can feel the pre-workout tingles. So push day today. We're going to get some chest. We're going to get some shoulders. We're going to get some triceps. But right now, what I'm going to go do, and this is, again, I got to cover all this stuff with you. I'm going to go inside and get warmed up. Part of the warm-up process is going to be my bag work, because since we're doing the conditioning at the end of the workout, it's going to kind of take away the bag work, you know, because I just won't have the time. So I'll be getting in some very light bag work, because again, this phase of training is jiu-jitsu focused. So the bag work is going to be kind of put on the light, you know, on the lesser end of sides, but you guys know, hey, I can't just take it out. So I'm going to be using it as part of my warm-up, you know, getting my body loose, figuring out what's tight, foam rolling, doing some PVC pipe work, mobility stuff, and then I'm going to get into the workout. But, you know, I'm not going to film that yet, because it's still kind of in development of what I'm trying to do with that kind of stuff. Plus, I don't like to record that process, because if I record that process, I'm focusing on talking to you guys and not like getting in tune with my body. And that's what I need to be focused on. So we might film it once or twice down the road, but not today, because this is my first time, one of the first workouts back, you know? So that being said, let me get inside, get warmed up, and we'll get after it. All right, we're still kind of getting warmed up here. That being said, there is some renovations, it looks like, that are going on in this place. It was like this yesterday too. So no bag work today, which is fine. Like I said, I'm itching for it, but I can hold off for a few days. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to save some energy. So, you know, again, since we're very well fed, like we are the most fed ever I could possibly be, we're gonna prioritize that. And this first exercise is gonna be, as usual, strength training. So I've already gotten a few warm-up sets in. This is still, I think, gonna be a warm-up set. I don't know. We'll probably do 5 to 6 more sets of 5. And then I want to do something with the shoulders, because I got to work on that mobility, like my upper spine. I'm definitely getting, I can't remember what the word is. I'm definitely getting that, like, you ever notice how like some athletes have like this kind of like humpback thing? I've always had that kind of issue. And I'm really going to start trying to focus on that. And a big part of that is just having a lot of tight chest muscles, probably tight shoulder muscles too, but a big thing is making sure that I'm like working on correcting my back and stretching that stuff out. And when it comes to like push exercises, I do think like doing more overhead stuff is going to help with that mobility and range. So we'll try and figure something out to go with it. But we got 5 right here. Then we'll do a solid like 2.5 minute break. Probably add another 45 and see what happens. But and then part of what I mean by that posture is I'm going to be really focusing on keeping my chin tucked as much as I can. Head has to be touching this, and then tuck that chin, especially when I'm pushing, like right here. Okay. Yeah, it's still pretty light. It's like a 5 out of 10. That'll change very soon. I'm gonna go ahead and throw another 45 on. You know, we might we might either do military or yeah, probably military. Like very medium, higher volume military next. Medium weight, that is. And mainly just to kind of work on that, like when I go overhead, stretching everything out, like getting that posture. I think that's going to be something I really want to focus on. I've been doing like chin tucks and stuff like that. So I think that's what we're going to do. And then when we go over there, you guys will kind of get to see like what they're doing. They took up the turf from where the bag was, which I kind of am very glad about, because that stuff would always flap up when I was doing. There was a lot of angles I couldn't do with you guys on that bag because of that turf. It would like, I would slide and like bust my ass on it. We'll see how it goes now. New renovations are always a fun time. Okay. Okay.
about 4.5. That's good that those felt really, like I was really trying to focus on like where my shoulders were, making sure my butt was back here, making sure my shoulders were touching, the head was touching, chin was tucked. I'm gonna drop it down to, I don't know what the weight would be, but I'm gonna take a 45 off and put a 25 on. So drop 30 pounds. So let's try that out. I'm gonna try lowering the seat a little bit. I feel what my shoulders really need to be doing, but in order to do that, this is what I mean, man. I've had this so long. You guys gotta remember, I've been weight training since I was a kid. Oh, this is as low as it goes, so. Oh, nope. It went down one. There we go. Please don't move while I'm doing this. But like, I don't know, it's such a strange thing. I've always had like that round upper back because I was always either a heavy kid, I always played sports, I always did like weight training and stuff, and I never got that down fully. And it still feels strange, so I'm really gonna be, again, spending a lot of time on that. Making sure that's down right. And you know, I think a big thing here, let's really just try and widen this out. This is probably, I'm gonna really regret this, but let's try and go like maybe a thumbnail's length down. That already feels like it's opening up a little bit more. Okay, let's see what we got going on here. Woo. Oh, I like that. We're gonna stay there. That's perfect. I feel that at the very bottom, really. I need it to like pull me back. You probably see me like adjust it like that, like doing that, like pulling my chest up. It's a multitude of things that needs to be worked on, but anyways, we got one more set of these, and then I think what I'm gonna do is take the 25 off and go to probably failure on this one. Definitely on this right side, I definitely feel like that's where a lot of the imbalance is, but I don't know, it's hard to say. When there's an imbalance, there's such a tug and pull from both sides, it's hard to figure out exactly what's going on. So it takes a lot of experimenting, one, but if you want to shorten your, you know, your path here, I would highly recommend, one, hiring a coach, or two, hiring a physical therapist. So that way you can figure out what the hell is actually going on instead of playing the guessing game. But luckily, I've got family and myself that's experts in that department, so. This definitely feels super different on the right side. Come on. That's it, dude. Already gassed. Craziness. That's okay though. Big thing I was really focusing on there was form. Not really maxing out or anything, but that's something I really got to work on. I got to pay attention to that, because if I just focus on just trying to get the weight up, it's gonna make the problem worse, especially on when we do push. Like push day is a big red flag for right now in regards to getting that posture right. So what I'm gonna do is really prioritize like back day. Like back day is gonna be really where we hammer down, because that's gonna pull all this back. You know what I mean? But that was pretty good for the heavy lift today. Let's go get some military press in. All right, I checked up on the conditioning for the day. It is 30 minutes on the rowing machine with just nose breathing. So that's gonna suck. I haven't done that long of a row in a long time. I've done it before. I've done a 10K row a couple times, so I've done stuff like that before. It's just not gonna be fun. It's gonna be it's gonna be mental, a lot of mental. But I was supposed to do sprints today, so I'm just gonna have to switch that to tomorrow. It is what it is. Make sure I gotta stop wearing flip-flops to the gym. I love them, man. I mean, I guess technically I could. It would hurt. All right. We got 8 to 12 of these. You know, I'm not really going for a certain amount here. I'm really trying to go for a feel. And speaking of which, you know, something I was kind of realizing in between this, I think part of my issue with the stability is I always go based off of like where these spacers are on this bar, which is a good thing to do. But for me, you know, I'll give you a great example of why this is messing with me. One of my arms and one of my legs is longer than the other appendage. So I'm already imbalanced to start off with. And I've always been that way. You know, for example, this left leg right here is significantly longer than this leg. Like significantly. So much so that I am constantly like, if you watch enough videos, you'll see that I am constantly leaning on this leg because it's just closer to the ground, you know? So something I'm trying to work on is just feeling, especially with barbell exercises, because you can kind of pull against the bar and get that stabilization in itself, but feel out where everything needs to be. Because I've noticed on this last set, I definitely felt the imbalance just because I was being super, and I've always been this way, like super strict. I've got to hold it on certain parameters. But if you're already, you know, imbalanced, I don't know, I'll have to ask my brother Colton, physical therapist. I definitely think it has to do with his right side in some way, though. Doing this with strict form is so much harder, man. One more. Damn, man. I think I'm gonna pop the weight down just a bit so I can focus a bit more. I think I'm gonna pop it down to just 25 and just increase the reps a bit. Yeah, man, that digestion is still not quite where I want it. It feels like I've got like a bunch of suds in my stomach. And I don't have any idea what from. I don't know, I've been drinking lots of water. Especially last night, this morning. You know, I probably have already had a gallon 12 hours, you know, so. I say that, maybe I'm overestimating, but there's definitely, I think adding a little bit more magnesium to the mix is also gonna be something I need to do. Maybe a little bit more fiber as well, but you know, you gotta be careful with fiber. Just because you need to get like, you know, flush something out of you does not mean you need more fiber, because if you're feeling that bloatedness, all that fiber's gonna do is sit on top of that. You need, probably more than anything, it's gonna be the magnesium, because magnesium is the electrolyte that helps your colon contract. I mean, it does a lot of other stuff besides that, but that's like a major, I'll tell you this. The number one ingredient in most laxatives is magnesium. So do with that information as you will. But I probably am going to double up on my magnesium today just to kind of get this through. All right. I'm trying to really get that front rack too for the press, you know? I'm trying to feel this out a lot. But also keep my butt tucked. So that means having a wider stance. That might be what I'm looking for. There we go. Whoa, that's not even, is it? Man, this is supposed to be a push day. All right, that's annoying. But I feel so much back on all the exercises we've been doing, which is good. Yeah, again, that's the problem, is that there's imbalances that are, so I'll show you right now. Like, you see that little arch I'm doing? This is just how I naturally stand, right? This bent forward motion is not right. Like, it does definitely need to be more like this. It's just that the posture muscles aren't quite there, and they're hard to work on. I can feel them when I do that though. So something I'm specifically working on. After this, I would really like to get some kind of cable fly variation in, but we'll see what happens. I've got, again, I don't know if you can see, they got everything moved around. I forgot to address that. But anyways, yeah, as you can see, no turf. I like it. I genuinely do. The turf was kind of, I like the turf right there, but it's kind of getting in the way right there. It would always flap up when I was throwing kicks. And because of that, I could only like record at certain angles. So that's something I'll have to work on. But anyways, we got that. Sure, buddy. Yeah, they had to check that out. There's a, I guess they're putting more flooring down or something. It definitely was looking better. So I rocks with it. I wonder how much this stuff costs. I would love that kind of flooring for my gym, like my home gym. Probably a lot. probably quite a bit. Anyways, that stuff costs so much more than you guys think it does. Like so much more. It's just the material. Anyways, last set of these, I did 2 warm-up sets before this. I think I recorded 2 sets, so I think we got 1 more set. That sounds about right. And then fly superset was something, and then we need to hit core, so we'll figure it out. Let's get this done though. Okay. Woo! All right. Done with those. Time to work on getting that heart rate elevated a bit. So superset's coming up next. All righty then. So we're going to do 2 supersets, or 2 separate supersets for 2 sets each, because I just couldn't let the triceps hang out, you know, without being like taken care of themselves. So that being said, first superset for the first 2 sets, we're going to do 10 and 10, and we're going to do cable flies high to low, or low to high. I might actually have to move y'all back for these. Y'all are still pretty close. And then superset with bus drivers with a 25-pound plate, 10 on each side. That one's going to tear us up pretty good. And we might increase the reps on that. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But we'll get this first set going, and then see how that, you know, base the reps we do off of that afterwards, you know. But let me adjust y'all real quick and then get this set up. And then after these, after 2 sets of this, we're going to do tricep extensions and then overhead tricep extensions. So pretty simple. Got to get everything hit. Really focus on that posture here. Tuck the butt, spread the legs, that base. Okay. Woo. Pretty good weight there. Pretty decent. I could probably do more reps. We'll see. See how this feels. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I mean, that's pretty good, but let's shoot for 15 on this next one, 15 on each. And you know, we got some obliques after this as well, so I don't know, we might actually stay here for a second just to go ahead and get all that done, get 2 sets of those obliques done too. We'll see. There's a few different things I kind of want to get in. We're running out of time. We are running out of time. And remember, like, we are kind of increasing the intensity with the second workout of the day, so not that you guys will really see that much. We might like pull you all out a little bit for it, but jeez, man. Woo! I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do for core. I don't know if I want to do cable stuff for obliques. Okay. Oh, no, 15. Okay. Might be easy. That's pretty good. All right. Let's go ahead and hit these triceps. I'll set you all up at a different angle and put this up. Oh, by the way, weigh out was 236.8 this morning, just for the record. So we are obviously carved up. I think I probably, if I'm being realistic with myself, we gained probably about a pound to a pound and a half of actual body fat. So give us about 2 weeks to get that back off, and then we're back on. You know what I mean? So it just, that's the hard part, is like accepting the fact that it's going to take extra time, you know? But listen, like, if you don't take the damn vacation, you're just going to keep pushing it off more and more and more, and then you never end up getting it done, and then you keep kind of staying in a constant state of anxiety because you never give yourself a chance to deload and de-stress. And because of that, you're in a constant state of running away instead of running towards something. So you have to do it. It's part of the process. This takes fucking patience, guys. Surprise, surprise. Just make sure you're actually, you know, accepting that, respecting that, and then implementing it into your life. But anyways, that's where we're at. And again, I think I guarantee you we're probably going to drop 2 to 3 pounds within the next few days. I can almost bet you money on that. But that being said, let's go ahead doing tricep extensions, 10, and then overhead tricep extensions for 10. We'll see how it feels. I got significantly less weight on that other one. I kind of want to drop the weight just a bit on that. I want to go a little bit more controlled than that. Like, this is not heavy at all. Honestly, and that's the funny part. I need more weight on this. So more weight, less weight. You know what I think I'm going to do? I think we're going to do some high volume kettlebell halos, no superset. And that's mainly just because, one, we got 30 minutes of cardio after this. But two, I think that kettlebell halo is going to help really open me up here, which is what it's what I'm trying to work on. So, plus it'll obviously hit the obliques to an extent. Stabilizing. You know what I mean? You could argue it's transverse abs mainly, but they're definitely not working. So, and again, the obliques are really not just like super big concern. Not that I'm not working on them, but that they're already getting hit like a crazy amount when I'm doing, like, you know, my kicks, for example. on the bag, which I still need to get that rotation kind of stuff in, but we'll get there. We'll get there. I haven't done those kettlebell. Well, you need to get the kettlebell halos in too. So where am I going to fit them in? You tell me. This is almost too light now. Let me try and make sure again. Work on that posture. I think it was 11, but whatever. Feeling it. And I kind of did expect these first like 3 or so workouts back, the first push-pull legs kind of cycle, to be a little bit like, you know, kind of getting back into the swing of things. So, you know, that being said, next time you guys see me on Wednesday, we'll be through that. So, feel it most in my back when I focus on that posture, man. I'm telling you. Can't wait for tomorrow. We really focus on it, but I'm gonna go find a place to get these kettlebell halos in. We'll wrap things up. All right. We're gonna go ahead and do like 10 on each side and see how it goes. I don't know if I'm gonna alternate. We might alternate and see how this feels. We're gonna do 2 sets. Hey. Hey. That's pretty rough. It's kind of easy at first, as you go into it, it gets harder. We'll do one more of those. Just gotta make sure I keep that chin tucked. They go way back there. All right. Woo! So that's that. Let me see if I can go find a good place to pose out real quick, and then I still got 30. Probably gonna end up doing like 25 minutes on the rowing machine. That's what we got. All right, what we got going on here? I mean, you can still kind of see the abs. There's just a lot of extra tub, which I think, again, that's where I feel the digestion playing case. I think it's pushing out, but honestly, that's probably making my abs pop. It's probably the sole reason you can see my abs right now is because of that. And trust me, that will go away. As the week goes on, especially in the next week, like this mass will shrink. So I just simply won't have the glycogen for it. Now my back's wanting to cramp up. Yeah, I mean, like that's the fat. That's how much fat we got. But again, a lot of that's just digestive goop. That's what the plan is for the next, like, the plan is within the next 3 months to get down to 8% body fat. So now that we don't have anything in our way stopping us, including vacations and all this Google mess, you know, I honestly want to try and get there in the next 40 days, 40 to 50 days, so like a month and a half, we'll say 60 days. In the next 60 days, I want that to be pretty shredded. So if we break that down, it's about 8 weeks, right, roughly. What's 8 times 7? It's a little over 8 weeks. So if we lose like a pound each week, about 8 pounds, we'll be getting close. We'll be getting close. We'll just kind of take it day by day. We'll give it a full like 3 months, you know, but God, I am uneven. That's where a lot of this is going to be focused on too, is getting athletically ready, not just like, you know, cutting and, you know, building muscle and stuff like that. We're also going to be focused on like mobility, flexibility, conditioning, which is what we're about to go freaking do. God. 30 minutes on the rower. So I'm going to wrap this shit up so I can go get that done and go home because I'm hungry. But I'll see you guys in the car.
All right. So, a little bit of a change in plans. We are going to, well, go ahead and recap. We did 10 minutes on the rowing machine. It wasn't hard. It wasn't rough at all, actually. But I started thinking while I was on there, is like, I forgot I am going to Hot Works. I can just do my conditioning stuff there. Especially for time's sake. That might just be the best bet, because I literally have it blocked off for like 2.5 hours on my schedule for like not 2.5 hours, but from 7 to 9 p.m. is my second workout time. So I'll have time to do, you know, that conditioning. So I'm going to do that tonight. I did go ahead and get that 10 minutes in just to kind of do some cardio at the end. But that'll also give us some time to do a little bit more bag work, you know, or also, you know, give the respect needed for mobility and flexibility training and stuff like that. So that seems to be the way we need to do it. And then of course on Thursday when we have jiu-jitsu will be the conditioning. I mean, that would be the best conditioning of the week, honestly. So what we'll do tonight, you know, at Hot Works they actually have a rowing machine in a sauna. It's not the best rowing machine, but also you're in a fucking sauna, you know. So I'm gonna do that for 25 minutes tonight, along with getting some content recorded for you guys. I don't know what the hell that sound was. Oh, I am kind of hungry. I ain't even gonna lie. I don't know if I'm hungry, if my stomach just feels funny. I'm gonna just go ahead and say it's my stomach feeling funny. It's not hunger. Hunger feels more of like, you feel a little weak. I cannot tell what the hell these cars are doing. All right, now I can. I'm going. Fuck you guys. I'm literally going home. All right. But anyways, diet today. We've got chicken and rice. I think it's going to be a big theme of the week until I can get to this grocery store. We got plenty of chicken, got plenty of rice. I should have a good amount of like those protein shakes still left over. So we should be good to go when it comes to proteins and stuff, I think. And I have some hamburger meat at home, or frozen hamburger patties that I'll probably eat for maybe, honestly, now I think we might actually go ahead and do that now. You know, tomorrow I might I have some beef bacon, and tomorrow I might go ahead and make some beef bacon and eggs, but I'm running a little bit behind on time, so I got to get after it. Tomorrow I'll have a little bit more extra time since I'm not recording and stuff, to actually make that breakfast. It's so much extra grease you gotta focus on dealing with too. That's the thing about all that beef bacon, which, you know, we could technically save that beef bacon or that beef grease for cooking for later down the road. It's actually a lot higher in nutrients and you know, vitamins and minerals than like you know, fucking store-bought butter, which is typically fake butter. I mean, when you look at butter, guys, most butter is like just basically soybean oil, which is not butter. Soybean oil, I mean, again, you'll get into all this stuff, but butter technically is going to have a little bit more, you know, natural goodness in there. Not to say that soybean oil won't have its own stuff, but it's fucking everywhere, man. It's fucking everywhere. Anyways, I don't know why I'm even going down that topic. It's not even a huge thing. I'm tracking my freaking calories. That's what matters. But anyways, dealing with all that grease is a pain because obviously it doesn't go down the drain. So I want to have the time to do that. And I think mainly, man, the hydration's got to be a thing. Yeah, what are you doing, bub? There's a guy that was just next to us, just drove into the middle of traffic. He almost got hit, bro. Anyways, I'm telling y'all, this is like, I've driven in a lot of different parts of America. For some reason, the place I live tends to have some of the shittiest driving. As funny as that goes. But anyways, trying to think if there's any more updates I need to give you guys. I just know next time we're going to be doing legs and probably going to go a little bit more intense. You know, again, like I said earlier, the first 3 days, I'm just kind of going through the motions, getting back into the routine and stuff. And then not to say that today wasn't a good workout. I felt like we got some really good work in. But obviously, you know, it wasn't like I just went absolutely freaking nuts like I can sometimes. But that's coming. That is definitely coming. I'm just trying to work out the kinks with the new schedule. New phase of training. I guess this will be technically phase 2, right? Phase 3 will probably be at the end of August or at the beginning of October. So we got, you know, whatever that amount of time is. But what we're doing in between those times is mainly, again, getting the jiu-jitsu started, focus on getting my body fat percentage down to 8% again, while staying above 210. And then, of course, building the business. I have my own business goals that I'm working on as well. So once we hit phase 3, that's when we're going to kind of start doubling down on the jiu-jitsu, making that a priority. And then, you know, again, it's hard to goal set when we don't know where we are, but I know for sure that'll be a big thing. And honestly, what I want to do is for 2026, start trying to look for an MMA fight again. I mean, that's kind of the game plan we're going for. So I'm taking y'all along with this journey. We'll see how it goes, but I think that's the official game plan. Obviously, it's nearly a work in progress here, but we'll see what happens. That, you know, the end goal is definitely get another fucking MMA fight in and then see how we're feeling. But I genuinely think that, you know, I've only had one MMA fight. So as far as who they would ever pair me up with, it's not going to be someone that's probably going to have the same skill level I have. Because most people fight a lot more than I do, trust me. Like, there's not a lot of people who've been doing MMA this long and have not had that many fights. It's just that, like, it's just not, my opportunity for that kind of stuff just never really got opened. I'm in a weird, you know, without me having to, like, move to whole different cities and stuff like that. So it's a whole thing. But that being said, you know, we're still definitely going to compete. I definitely want to get another one in before I turn 30. So that's the main goal as far as athleticism and what I'm working on towards that kind of stuff there. And again, I just want to emphasize, I'm not a fucking bodybuilder, okay? I'm not a fucking bodybuilder. That'll be so apparent as we go along. But anyways, that's all we got for today. I'll see you guys on leg day. Peace out. Have a beautiful motherfucking day. The fuck was that? Bye.